This is a Public Art Advisory Committee, Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. This is a hybrid meeting. The public may join us in person at Brisbane Annex City Hall, Annex Conference Room, 25 Park Place, or via Zoom. Let's do roll call. Chair Glassman is out. Councilmember Davis.
Here.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Here.
Vice Chair
Here.
Sewell. I just realized I have to change that on my form. Park and Recreation Commissioner Sims.
Here.
Committee Member Kelstead is absent for now. And Committee Member Salmon.
Here.
Okay, can we get an approval of the minutes of June 16th?
I move that we
first.
approve the minutes.
Do you need agenda approval first?
Oh,
What's happening?
God, I am so thrown. I'm so sorry.
Agenda approval first.
Oh, I move that we approve today's agenda.
All in favor?
I
Right.
Okay, approval of minutes of June 16th, 2025.
Oh, go. I'll move to approve the minutes. Do it.
Right. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
I
All right. Discussion items.
All right, what do we do?
I guess follow me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go hang out at the Bank of America.
Yeah, maybe before we jump off, just for the record, as this group knows, the city has owned the B of A site for some time and is in the middle of a process to make determinations long-term for its use. In the meantime, we have an empty building at the corner of a prominent intersection in town that some of us thought could perhaps use a little more visibility and activity. So I asked staff to clean the space out. So I wanted to take you guys over to see what could be possible from an art perspective. So that's the hope.
Let's do it.
So let's do it.
coming back here.
We're gonna
Right back here.
And that'll be when discussions. Yeah.
And people can leave their purses and we'll lock it up.
I'm just so in case Daniel.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, we're back.
Hi, what a nice trip to the Bank of America building
Thank you.
And the state park.
and the skate park. Absolutely, thank you.
maybe I just say 30 seconds about both. It seemed to me, based on the tour, that there was some interest in continuing a conversation generally about art, recreational activities and the like. Probably not going to resolve that tonight. So I was saying to Noreen, perhaps the group wants to have this as a standing item on the agenda for the next couple of months to allow it to be a conversation. I would also recommend, if you guys want to, welcome to meet with others. Well, you guys are Carson Rec already, but if there's other folks you want to pull in,
I think it would be a good thing for the whole Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
commission, for us to
Mhm.
take a look.
I'll
If
come to
we-
your next meeting, then. That'll be fine.
Yeah,
It really feels like that's the place. And then for the public record, 2 years, you think it's gonna be,
2 years feels reasonable to me. I mean, it could be a little sooner, but I imagine our process takes us at least through the end of the year.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna make up a scenario. Let's say that the council has a decision that relates to some sort of mixed use there, and they're gonna sell the property to a third party. That could be one of the options. So you go through that process. That'll take some time.
Yep.
If the council want to retain it and bring in folks, it's an RFP, it takes some time. So 2 years seems
Yeah.
reasonable to me.
well, you mentioned that you wanted to see the lights on, and that's cool. And that's what we're trying to do is
Yeah,
figure out
we
how
wanna
to get
act
people
right.
down there and work it out.
Perfect. Well, I
Cool.
appreciate it. And I guess the skate park, it sounds like we're gonna leave that as is right now and monitor it. And if it becomes tagging central.
You mean the skate rocks,
Skate rocks.
skate rocks, yes.
Skate rocks.
the rocks,
Cool.
the boulders.
The boulders. And I got some follow-up on some questions that you and I had out there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Do you want to comment? Anyone else want to comment? 30 seconds on the bank? Nope, good.
Everybody happy? It's great seeing everybody. Thank you for your
Great.
interest.
Thank
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Jeremy.
So,
Great stuff.
Have a good evening.
Yes.
You too.
Do we do public comment or anything? What's next?
do we have anybody? No, don't have anybody. Let me see. I think you can go to item D and just double check. I don't have any written correspondence in that time. So we'll move to the next item.
So item D, review
Yes.
artist request for proposal for phase 2 of Firth Park project. Awesome.
I thought it was great.
Oh,
It was vague enough that it allowed
Yeah.
a lot of different, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
A few little, like it said some ideas, but not too many.
Yeah,
I have a question though. When this came up, I remember Lisa Greenlee reporting out that some artists said you shouldn't have an RFP, you should have this different thing initially, and I
Qualification.
RFQ.
RFQ.
Mhm.
Because they didn't want to do all the work of an RFP
Right.
at the initial stage.
Right. So the tipping point for
Right.
that is what was established in the public art master plan is as $80,000. So projects less than $80,000 would be an RFP. More than 80,000 would be an
Got it.
RFQ. And that would have an additional layer of process. So it's really up to this committee to make a recommendation to city council as to how much you want to allocate for this project. And then that will determine whether or not it's an RFP or an RFQ.
I saw a number in here.
Yes.
What was it? 1 or it seemed low. I was like, what could they do for that? It was, and then maybe it was a holdover from another one, but I did see a number,
I mean, it matters if we're doing that.
but we didn't mean to have a number in there.
No, so
Okay.
page 5 of this, where it says budget, it's just TBD until the committee had the
Right.
opportunity to make
Got it.
that
Okay.
determination. Yeah, and then, I mean,
I would imagine we're going over 70 grand if we're doing a fence,
Well,
an artful fence along the side.
exactly.
So it's sounding like it may get more expensive into the queue area.
It could
But
be.
is the art portion? Because if we're doing a art event, is it
Combo.
part of it is considered part of the artist? Or is the whole fence gonna be part of the artist's work?
I think we
Well,
were with
wasn't
city.
there somewhere in
we
there
worked
that
with
said it
city
could be
too.
broken down? Did I miss that
what do you mean?
in this RFP when we were talking about Firth Park? That artists could,
Well, the city has the ability to award the contract to multiple artists if they so
yeah,
chose,
that's
like
what I'm
we,
saying.
like
Right.
you did with the
With the,
stairway from
yeah.
Alvarado to San Benito.
Right,
You put a project amount of $80,000 for that project, and then you awarded contracted to.
to someone, exactly. So I guess what I'm saying about that is if the artful fence was more than $80,000, then we would take that portion and pull it out and go to city council to get approval. Is that, you can't do it that way, or you have to do it all at one time?
I don't
So-
understand the question.
So when we were talking about the places where the front, the mosaic,
Mhm.
the stairs,
Mhm.
right? And the fence, those 3 areas, right?
Yep.
And so I guess the question, we could look at it this way. Do we think having the total amount for that is gonna be over $80,000. That's really the bottom line.
Seems like
That's the
more-
It
question, yeah.
has to be, but in page 4, that's where I saw $120,150.
Oh, you're on the draft of the artist agreement.
Okay,
Yeah,
so then
no.
okay, so don't worry about that.
No.
Because I was like, that seems really
No, that's
inexpensive.
really just to give the artists who are applying for the project
Yeah.
a sense of what our agreement would look like.
Okay,
So that's just a placeholder.
okay.
So you think it'd be more than 80? See, we don't know. Yeah, you do.
I think if you're adding a
Yeah.
fence, it's gonna be over 80.
And would that all be one artist?
No. That's where we can break it down to multiple
And
artists.
that's why we can do it as an RFP instead of an
That's why,
RFQ.
that's the other part of the question I was asking, is
It's
if it's,
complicated because you have to work with Public Works and they take a part of the estimate, right? They're paying for some of it too,
I
so.
don't think so.
It.
They
don't have
are,
to.
they are when it's something like that. We had a grant for it, like with the stairs.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
the city had a grant, so there's already a
So
money
this is
there.
ours. 100%.
This is like, when we wanna do this, it's all out of our budget.
Mm.
but there are 3 different projects. The fence people, the fence artist could be a different artist than the mosaic artist.
yeah.
Could be a different artist. So that's why I'm saying, does each one, do we
Get its
separate
own
them?
RFP.
That's what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
That's,
Well, you didn't do that. That's not the approach you took with the stairway. You
Okay.
left it deliberately vague
Yeah.
so that you can cast a wide net and
That's how I
see
want
what
it.
you got
Yeah.
back.
and that's what I was
Because-
thinking for us here.
You had other artists who proposed a bench
I
or a
agree.
sculpture, and you guys honed in on the mosaic and the kind of
some
railing and
artists can
lighting.
do all
so-
of it.
Right, and I love that. I guess my question comes back to, does that mean that we have to say it might be over, we're going back to the amount between an RFP and a RFQ,
Mhm,
whatever
I
they,
think we should, RFQ, we're not gonna get renderings.
correct.
We're just gonna get like, here's some examples of my work. I'm fine with that. I mean, I think that that's really how we chose people in the past.
I agree with
It's
you,
looking at
but
their
that's not my question. Your question was, if I'm not mistaken, do we have to go in front of city council if it goes over a certain amount of money? And are we
Oh.
saying that these
you always
projects
have
may go over that certain
think we
amount
always
of
have.
money?
I think we
Yes.
always have to.
So
have to
the
go-
process would be, you guys make a determination of whether or not this is gonna be an RFP or RFQ. Either way, this has to go to city council.
No matter what.
And then if you,
Oh, I
if
see
you,
what you're saying.
correct, if you take the
Why
path
would you do that? Okay.
of an RFQ, then you can create a short list of artists that you're interested in getting renderings from or hearing more about their proposed project. And then
Meeting with
from there,
them.
you would
But that's
select
step
the
2
artist.
after we send it.
Correct.
Okay, then, okay, fine, I
think
get it.
Just
No,
do RFQ and keep it simple for everybody, and we might get more applicants. Cause there were people last time who were like, I wanna apply, but I don't have time to do a rendering, or
Mhm,
I don't like your system, or
We
whatever.
have in the budget 3 mil?
mhm.
Yeah, we have about 3 mil in the budget, so you guys should determine how much money you would want to spend possibly
this
up
location.
to.
That's
on this
correct.
On this
location.
Because
location.
Council needs to know
Yeah.
that before they
Mhm.
say yes.
And
Which
we're
is the
saying,
hard
what-
with, because what they come up with will vary greatly,
Mhm,
so to
yeah.
give some kind of.
that's what I'm, yeah,
Some
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what I
cap.
mean.
Yeah.
Like this time, last time we were intending to do just the but we got stairs and we got a railing, and maybe we spent a little bit more.
What was that bottom line?
So
What
you
is
guys
it?
spent 200,000 on that
So I think
stairway.
at least be
Yeah,
So I would
two,
say
plus two,
that at least,
at least 2.
because we're talking like, we're already thinking it's gonna be 2 artists, right?
So
to what?
2 artists,
Well, it could be 3.
could be 3.
So how big is how?
I don't think it'd be as much.
And I'm sorry.
I
for
don't
asking
know.
this,
Plenty. I
how
think
much
I think, I was
fencing are
thinking
we
max
talking?
150.
I think the vision was to do it along Glen Park all the way up from the corner to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, to that tree.
Correct.
Right, to the tree.
Where-
So
yeah.
they're not doing it.
I just get concerned, about the damage to that. I think we need it, but I'm also feeling like it might get real messed up because,
I mean, the
People have a-
last big storm, it all came through there.
well, not just that, with the trucks get
Mm.
themselves into a truck went through wasn't it Cy Bologoff's house?
Yeah,
Well, I know, but I don't know if that should stop us
Yeah.
from
and maybe that's the one
investigating
we need
art.
the fence.
It's an underused area. and
It's-
I think it's underused because of the safety issue with the fence.
Well, there's also no bathroom.
No
I
restroom.
think
There's
that's
no restroom too, and it's.
But that's not public art, that's.
Boy, if we
but-
freshen it up, it would get a lot more use, and if it was safer for kids, it would certainly.
And it could be that they just
It's a
stick rock
beautiful
there.
area.
Now, that's a conversation, but we had already had that conversation where we thought we wanted an artful fence, and that's why it's
Yeah.
included. If you remember, as opposed to just putting boulders.
Yeah.
Can I
So-
ask a really silly question? And
Yeah.
I probably should know the answer, but I don't. So we have $3 million. What is that just for how long? Like, because I know this is accrued, like, are we in, when will we have more money? Like, what does it look like annual budget wise, I guess, for art?
It's
So-
only gonna go up like.
The way that the public art fund accrues money is
Development.
by development, right? So a developer could opt to either place art on their property that's publicly accessible, or they can pay an in lieu fee
Yeah.
and make that contribution to the public art fund, at which point the committee is responsible for determining how those funds are spent.
Like, do we think we're probably gonna be getting $1 million a year from?
No,
Okay.
No.
Trying
No,
to gauge,
no.
like, if we spend 3 million.
No.
Like,
That's it
okay,
for now.
for now.
The
Okay.
maintenance will generate significant.
But they'll also.
They want it on.
Yeah.
correct.
They may use it all in that. So
Mm.
I always think of it as this is our money and this is it.
Okay.
Myers is
That's how I think.
Yeah.
leased and they may need to do some renovations. that
Yeah.
might-
Staying?
No.
So they do like
leased
tenant improvements.
Oak Peak. Released not Bristol Myers, whichever one that vacated out of the,
J&J.
yeah, J&J.
Bristol Myers supposed to be leaving too.
Yeah, but then I think J&J, I think said that building's been released. I think. And-
Well, that's
So we get
helpful,
more
'cause
money
my
for ten-
fundamental question is, Frick Park is nice, but it is underused. Maybe it would become more used, but like, if we have this money to spend, I would question how much we should spend on that
We
particular.
also- yeah, we al-
That's exactly
We
it.
also get money for tenant improvements, so we already have like 5 properties, not we, the city, but another entity owns a lot of 5 properties and they're selling all of them now and
Oh, yes, I do know
possibly
about that.
11.
somebody,
Yeah.
11 properties.
11 or
So
12.
they're all gonna be
So
tenant.
that will trigger the public art fund
Okay.
as well.
Okay, so we
Improvements
will
to-
have some more.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I, yeah,
correct.
Okay.
But all of those tenants are going to stay through their leases.
Yeah.
But
True.
I mean, they might not get renewed at the rates they should.
Mhm.
so did you see an amount in here that was suggested?
No,
No.
No,
that's.
that's
So,
just
yeah.
discussed.
Intentional.
So I don't,
Let's just,
So
maybe
on
just
the-
copy paste the stairwell.
So on the
think we
mural
need as
project
much
for
as
the
the
stairs, we spent 200,000 on
Put some,
railings, lighting and.
yeah, see, we're not doing lighting.
and
Signage at the top and bottom
Signage.
and mosaic.
At the top
And
and the
mosaic.
bottom.
So
that
if
fence
we
is
were
expensive.
breaking
make it
down, I
safe.
mean, and that's
Yeah.
quite a long run.
Yes,
The short staircase that we have here might be. Let's say half.
Staircase.
that's generous. Yeah, probably even.
So
About
if-
a third or fourth.
Yeah.
Well, you'd say a third or a fourth, but you're not taking into it the artist's
Yeah,
work to create it
yeah.
versus the size
totally.
is
Yeah,
not
scale.
necessarily the same.
I agree.
There's an economy of scale or a
Right.
lack of economy with a small scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And then the
let's say
mosaic.
half for that section. And the artful fence, it's probably not gonna be the same kind of intricacies that you'd be wanting to look for. You'd want a little bit more of a utilitarian, a structure, if
Mhm.
you're looking to fence it in
Safety.
to keep children safe from running into the street or cars running into them, you're probably looking at a somewhat utilitarian
Expensive.
concept,
Mhm.
concept. And so I'm not sure how you would look at that, having an artist do a fence versus having,
Public works. do it.
like a
Yeah.
ornamental iron kind of thing that is more along the utilitarian. I hate to
Mhm.
say industrial, it's but more.
No,
But like engineering.
type,
Engineering type,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd want it to be an
Mm-hmm.
engineered thing, or, it's certainly not gonna hold
Hold up.
back a dump truck. that's gonna run into your house.
That's
Or run over
engineering
your
is why
children.
it's expensive. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
why I keep thinking it's gonna be more than.
So,
Right,
you
I
know, as
agree.
far as cost wise, I'm not even sure what a linear
That's
foot
scary.
of ornamental iron fence would be if we take the art completely out of it, you know, which you'd have to do just for fabrication anyway.
Should we take the
um,
fence off the table then?
I wanna, I'm just curious to see what comes back.
No, I'm just trying to sound out how.
I
we
I
would
agree.
look at
I would
Yeah,
love
the
to have
dollar
a
amount,
conversation
yes.
about that.
And so I would really like to see come from Public Works what a standard nice fence would cost. So we have a basis to say, oh, to make this artful,
Yeah, that's what I
we
meant.
would take that price and double it or triple it or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Take it off our plate right for now, get
No,
a
no,
cost
no,
on it.
just for now, but I mean, come back at the next
Sure.
meeting where we can put in a sane dollar amount towards fencing. And have a sane amount towards the stairway with its railings.
Well, we could keep the railing that's there. We're just, I mean, but much did we say for the,
Stairway.
Stairway.
With 200,000.
200,000
For
all-
both artists.
for both artists?
Even decide
I'm
we
like
want to
150.
do all these things, like we may decide stairs are fine, we don't really need to
Yeah.
make them, we just really wanna do the Firth Park, you know,
Marquee.
the marquee, like that inlay area and the fence, or we might say, wow, this is a cool bench, let's do that. Like, I don't think, it doesn't seem clear right now that we have, it's not like we have 4 things absolutely, we're
We
doing
have
all
a
of
vision
these.
on that. So, but again, I
Maybe
think
the
that,
fencing
but to
should be
get
taken
dollar amounts,
separately.
you know, you sort of need to parcel it out and say, well, if we add this, and that, how much is a reasonable expectation to spend?
I like the
Good point.
idea of having Public Works say how much they would spend if they were to
Yes.
fence as a point of reference. There are landscape artists who have engineers who could
Yeah.
have a vision that includes a fence, but we would at least have a this versus that, right? A point of reference. I think that would be helpful.
I'd like that. Yeah. Let's do that.
So just come back then.
Well, I think on that
Because
part,
we
but I-
can do in the RFP or the RFQ, whatever it is, saying that these are the elements that we're looking at. And that
Possible.
gives it open, like, yeah, fencing, stairs, mosaic, other art pieces, which I think was in there, or other ideas. So that we get these artists, and someone may say, oh, I've been doing these great pieces. I'd love to do that. Doesn't mean we have to accept it. But it gives us grounds for conversation, and I do think it would be good to know.
so as a parent, you would not take your kid to go play there because
I
there's
let
not
my
a
kids
fence?
play that, but I'm a
At
negligent
a certain
parent.
age,
I
but
did too, but I paid it.
some,
Yeah.
some of those ages, you wouldn't want to do that.
I lived across the
because
street
There's no
from it.
toity.
I lived across the street from it, and we
Ha-
would not let our kids run around in there without chaining, you know. They
Not
run
having
to
a
the street.
Not having a bathroom is a problem. Not having a fence is a problem. It's also not really, I mean, there's a couple things to climb on, but like, there's not
It's more for, like,
really much for
picnic
kids. I would
and-
say it's more of like a passive park, maybe a place that you would go meet your friends for a picnic, or
We would
you'd
set up
maybe go
croquet with the kids.
Yeah.
draw or something
My
like that.
kids
Place
play
that
there all the time.
you wanted
but-
just for you and your, you know,
Mhm.
you wanted
We
some
learned to get hit
privacy.
by a car if we didn't stay on, well, anyway.
Yeah, so I never really played there when I was a kid.
Well,
But
it depends. I mean, if you live there, I lived
Yeah,
on
if you
Glen
live
Park
there-
with the first 2 kids, so
yeah, then of course.
it's right across the street. All right.
Little gem.
Did they play with,
Mhm.
in Glen Park?
It's a nice place to have a party
I
because
wasn't concerned about them going in the street. I was concerned about them continuing to go up the mountain.
it's a nice place to have a party
Into the
because you're
canyon.
not, I mean, no one uses it,
No, yeah,
Yeah.
but there's no bathroom,
but
so
they didn't go in the
Mhm.
street.
it only works if you know someone nearby
I
whose
was gonna
bathroom
say.
you can use.
Yeah, we lived so close, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of for those families around that area, really.
so I have a question, or just throwing something out. Since we're taking a recess for August, do you, other than this question of asking Public Works for what an engineered fence point of reference for cost, would you want to maybe separate out the fence for later, and in the meantime, you guys could decide on doing an RFP now for any element so that we would have something ready for you possibly in
Let's not
September.
do, you know, 300,000 or 400,000. 300,000, is that like unreasonable to this committee?
No, not
Without the fence.
without the fence. We're talking with, she's saying, can we put something together without the fence? And I think we could, and it's not 300,000.
You could leave the fence as a possibility in
Mhm.
there
Mhm.
and see what comes when they do the art, the piece.
Yeah.
And by
I
that
agree.
point, we'll have a
Okay.
reference.
And we'll have a reference.
And we'll have a reference.
And make an RFQ, yeah, if it's over 80.
Yeah.
That's what you did with the stairway.
Yeah.
And we'll make it an RFQ.
To see it all at once, because I
Yeah.
think that if we hadn't, it made sense to pick
Right.
the iron, the fence people, the railings people,
Mhm.
and the mosaicists at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think if we are looking at multiple artists to go there, I think we should put them together.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
So RFQ, we want to cap it at like 300,000, like
Not to exceed,
not to exceed.
whatever.
Ooh,
But
I'm
I
sorry,
think
we
we
gotta
need,
turn this
you
off.
can for an RFQ rather
that's-
than
300,000 is way
Yeah.
more than we want.
What matters to
80,000
me
won't get you
more-
enough, I don't think.
I think that matters to me more is just to see what your body of work look like, your style, and then you get them in and you have a conversation. Because it's a lot of time for an artist to sit
It
there and do
is.
a rendering and like most
then
of
not
them
get
are
the
gonna
project, yeah.
not get it.
Yeah.
That's why we might miss out on good talent because they don't.
Well, and we did have artists respond to us
Yeah.
with the stairway one that said exactly that.
Yeah.
So.
But
I'm happy to have it as an RFQ, then, I mean, if that's
RFQ.
the way it would
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And it'd be, like she said, this could go to multiple artists.
This,
and
I mean,
things
and you
like
put that in the RFP, that
Yes.
it's not, you know, you're bidding on the necessarily.
Yeah.
On the whole shebang, it could be
Exactly.
parceled out and that kind of thing.
Right.
Mhm.
So do you guys all agree on 200,000, 300,000?
I think you
Not,
do
and it's
three.
not to exceed, like she said.
300.
And you do 300
You
and
know, it's certainly a more it's going to be a visible piece.
yes.
To a lot of people of the public art program being there on
All
the
right.
street. And so,
Mhm.
you know, I could see the not to exceed, and if you've got, you know, 5 possible elements that people are gonna be doing, I mean, people could come in with park benches,
That's
Yeah.
true.
could
Yeah,
come
no,
in
okay,
with
start with
you're right.
benches.
All right,
you know,
Another place for.
climbing structure.
Okay.
Or who knows?
all right, you got it.
You know, we can divvy that up once we get artists' ideas and see
Okay,
what we really want, what would be cohesive for us in that space.
all right, cool.
Okay, so
Clear?
we'll bring it
Clear.
to council
you.
for approval.
Yep.
Do you want us to bring this back to you with the information regarding the pricing of square footage, or we're just gonna have that in our pocket
Just have it
or?
in our
We're gonna
pocket.
Have it in our pocket.
So, and then we'll plan to bring this to council in
Yes.
September when they come back.
Yes,
Yeah,
Great.
because now you're really talking about like a spring project, and the later
Yeah.
and later and later you get. and
true,
it's
that's
just
true.
like-
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Move on.
Okay, so then I'll back out the timeline based on that,
Okay,
for the RFQ when we publish it.
Great brainstorm.
Okay.
Let's keep the same energy for the benches.
benches.
This can get a little out of hand. Here's my gavel.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So,
I have another meeting in
Okay.
half an hour.
Here's the
so-
stir-
Well, this
my
won't take
Close-up
long.
camera soft.
oh,
Mm-mm.
so you had this on your agenda for the last meeting and it was discussed. You had asked staff to bring it back with some additional context, including the city's donation policy for public art, which was created based on the city's finance department donation policy, but in regards to the public art master plan. We also provided a copy of the memorial bench and plaque policy, which is in existence, and bench recommendations that came forward through the age-friendly task force. So that information is provided here in the packet for you. You had also asked staff to do some research regarding ranges for these types of programs, both refurbishing, which I found the stipends to be within the $500 to $2,000 range. And then just artfully commissioned new benches. There's quite a range there. So could be as low as, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, all the way up to $50,000 is just depending on scale and size and
Swarovski crystals.
yes, all the things. So hopefully that's additional context for the conversation, but
Great work.
I think that the committee has expressed in the past that this is gonna be an item that you're gonna digest for several meetings,
Mhm.
so I don't expect to have.
This is a great report, though, I tell you.
Yeah.
The
Very
the
thorough.
highlighted areas are really great.
Yeah.
That came from the age-friendly task force.
So great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many opportunities and. I mean, Madison spearheaded the fire hydrants, this has got a very similar feel, and the energy around it. It's almost like that could be the marketing hook. Let's do the same for the benches.
Lot of benches
Lots.
Lots of benches, huh?
high up though.
Phew.
Yeah,
There's not a lot in central Brisbane and really.
well, that's when you need them, is when
compared.
you're up high, right?
Mhm. A lot of the older community is not even necessarily getting up that high though.
There's
Well,
not
and
a
this
lot
is-
of along-
Yeah, the attachment 4 is really just central Brisbane, but I provided a link in the staff report that identifies them all throughout Brisbane, including other areas like the Ridge and Sierra Point, so.
How much is an artful chairlift? Ski chairlift.
From the top of the mountain.
Funitel, detachable chairlift.
Yeah,
So
These are interesting notes. Possible place for a porta potty.
um. On a somewhat similar but separate agenda topic. Colleen sent us a note.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not finding it in my email.
Let
It
me
might
pull
have
it
been
up.
it might have been
She emailed us.
what I don't know why it's not coming up.
It would come through Jeremy.
It was a link to a article about public art location services, where benches are, where public art is, that kind of thing.
It came from Ingrid.
It did come through English, okay.
like cataloging inventory of existing public art.
It
Yes.
was. Did
Put
you-
your city's
saw that,
public art
yes.
on the
Mhm.
map with the public art
Yes,
archive.
correct.
Yes, public art archive.
You got
Yeah.
a copy of this?
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
I
Yep.
just wanted to bring it up. while
Thank you.
It was in my mind.
I did see
that
it.
Looked like something that we'd talked about geolocation services and things.
Yes,
And this looked like something that we could use as a public art committee.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw it out there. that
yes,
I
thank
still
you.
Had a little bit of.
What is our next step now that we have this information? How would?
We can bring
because-
it back to the September meeting.
So that we have more time to digest it,
Yeah.
or, I mean, and we at one point in time were talking about that it might be a two-prong thing, right? The benches that are there
Correct.
being one, and then the idea of new benches.
Yeah, so
coming
I think
into it.
if I recall correctly, and you can correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. At the last meeting, you had suggested that maybe the city identify 3 existing benches for refurbishing. In 3 locations, and then also identifying maybe 3 locations potentially where we would want to place a new bench. And then going out to solicit artists based on those locations.
Copy and paste that over for the next years,
Yeah,
Mhm.
copy paste. yeah.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I love that idea.
so
I
maybe
do
then
too.
definitely for the September meeting, each come with their individual 3 for each, maybe for refurbish, and what your top 3 choices you think would be, and then we can collaborate maybe in
I
September.
would say like, there's no way I'm tracking down all these benches to have a look at them in person. I think what might make sense is if staff
The
can
locations.
identify
Well, they
Okay,
did.
10 benches,
Hmm.
help us narrow it down, 10 benches with photos.
Mhm.
That you can submit and we could go through and determine
I see. Mhm.
what's our top 3.
Top 3
think
to
they should be really visible.
refurbish.
I think choices should be very visible to the townspeople, not way up high, to your point.
Yeah, visible.
Okay.
People-
Yeah, if there's like specific locations, like if you want us to make a recommendation,
Maybe like one at the marina.
right,
That's a good one. There's a lot of people walking
Mhm.
there. It's very visible.
Mhm.
It's good to get art out there. So I would say like, maybe some pictures of the marina, something that's central Brisbane and the flats, if
lot
there is
here.
anything.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if we want to tackle benches at the park or if we want to keep those.
Well, we could, I mean, just bring pictures and we
Yeah.
can figure it out.
Well, and is the idea that we would have these 5 or 6 benches and we would hire one artist to do all of them, or we put out? Different
Could
artists
be
read
different,
them.
yeah.
Okay.
I think what we're thinking of for the benches that are there is within the kind of offshoot idea of the fire hydrants.
Yep.
Yeah,
And the other thing of, the hearts in San Francisco,
Yeah.
that. So
Got it.
somehow this is that idea.
okay.
At the same
the
time,
rest,
we
yeah.
want to identify space for new benches.
Yeah, so
Yes, and then we will identify places for possible new benches that are
For park.
created by artists for a specific spot.
okay, so identify,
Does that make sense?
take photos of,
So that's a total of 6.
7 to 10
Existing.
existing to refurbish, and then maybe top 7 to 10 locations.
We're
for
saying
new-
3 or 4, so.
No,
Wait, wait, wait,
you
wait, wait,
wanna
now.
look at them, so we
Oh,
get photos
okay,
and you
I
guys
see,
can
yeah.
decide.
First park for a new one, a rebuilt, new designed
Yeah.
turtle bench,
Okay.
A dinosaur.
of course.
What?
I could hear the calling.
Already not.
Don't argue.
Yeah.
I just have one question. Are we sharing like an overarching vision, or is it really just anything you think is cool? Cause I think about San Francisco with the hearts, right? There's the structure, the
Template.
the
The
template.
template.
And I wonder, do we want to build, I'm just bringing up a question, a sense of cohesion?
No, you're right.
Or,
For me,
yeah,
I was thinking we already have these benches, but if we're gonna open up the benches for the world, I don't care if they're cohesive, because
Yeah.
because of the way that it's
It's already developed.
already developed, and the way the town is set up, it's gonna be interesting wherever the artist sees, and it'll reflect
Mhm.
where they're doing the bench.
so they reflect the sense of place.
That's
Yeah,
why
that
Firth
would-
Park is the
but I-
perfect place.
Even making that clear, like we want,
Yeah.
could be helpful.
I agree.
Yeah, and that would be
Yeah.
part of the RFP
Yeah,
for the
okay.
the new benches.
Some,
Okay.
I don't know how to call
yeah.
them new benches, but the non-existent
Yeah,
benches,
get
yeah.
into it, sorry.
in the RFP would
Roughly
reflect
how
the
to
space. These are the spaces. We're hoping it will reflect not only the community, but as well as where they're being placed. I also think, that's kind of something artists should know
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they're gonna
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
Like,
you're
I'm
a
not gonna
bench
Ferris
We
wheel
don't know that it's
bench
gonna-
in Redwood Forest.
People who do benches
it's
are
like-
probably really good at that.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Well, but it works. Okay, so like the fire hydrants work because they're all fire hydrants.
Underlay.
Right, and they're all
There's
the
that
same.
Cohesion, and they're
Yes.
all the same.
Right.
What I want us to avoid is just too much randomness. Like there's a fine line behind like random and
Well, I
cohesion.
think that'll have to do with where they're placed, where we decide they go, the
Yeah.
new ones. That's. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not. I mean, some benches will be in maybe the stairways that come up that are under trees,
Yeah.
art pieces, or there are some that are already. Do you know what I
The
mean?
collection though, it is all random.
And if
Like,
there's someone,
Whole collection of art, like there isn't cohesion because part of it's stuff that we're soliciting, part of it's stuff that businesses are soliciting, part of it is things that are already here, like the
Yeah.
Raccoon and Costanza.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
whole collection
Yeah.
is gonna be random, and I think that's what makes it cool.
The architecture in
Right.
town,
Right?
I mean, there's no cohesion.
No
Plan at all.
cohesion.
and the San Francisco Hearts thing started as a
We've
fundraiser.
gotten in a little bit of.
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
It was not an art, it was
Julie,
a
we've-
fundraiser.
We've gotten a little bit
Yeah.
of trouble being cohesive and not creative enough. right?
Ah,
So we're trying to
okay.
bust that wide open. It's not really our decision. It's what is chosen by the artist's rendition of that vision for the park, let's say, they're gonna look at it and go, this is the perfect vision for Perth, and we say,
Yeah.
that looks great.
Space aliens have liked it.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's gonna fit the vibe of that little gem.
I'm gonna trust this process.
It-
Thank
it's-
you.
And it's
Because
not a
browser process to be matchy match, but I,
No.
Do it in
you know,
I do think though that it what you're saying
copy
has a place in like, if
Heck yeah.
we're doing the Crocker Park Trail,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
And the cohesion there is maybe it's all murals. all the way
Absolutely,
around.
yeah.
Or
And
whatever,
like,
yeah.
that's where, I think when we're planning for specific art programs that are space specific, then you can plan for a little bit more.
Well, you
cohesion.
have, if you're thinking of Crocker Trail, it could be many things, but we would end up hiring someone.
A
who
curator.
is a curator.
Ah,
You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Who is doing that? That would be the
Hmm.
curators, but this isn't a curating situation.
This is more-
Because one of the examples, Noreen, that you sent was very traditional style benches all over. Each one was painted thematically, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying those are the most creative ones. They were not. But if you have city benches look like this, but each one has a different depiction.
Well,
And then some of the benches were just so cool. You can't, they were pieces of art in and of themselves.
Right.
So like, I think there's a place for both. And I think that's
that's what we're
you're
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're on this.
Okay.
The cohesiveness is you have to be able to sit your butt
Hmm.
on it
That would be a curator.
and rest.
Okay.
Okay. Well, cool. Yay!
Good.
Okay,
When's our next meeting?
September 15th.
Take
I
a
will
break.
not be here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, okay. All right. All right, that sounds like a plan. I think we have direction.
Public comment?
We don't
Oh,
have any public comment. Let me check if there's any written that has come in since. No, I don't have any written correspondence either. Nobody's online.
Somebody needs to clean the lens on the owl.
Yeah, I'm looking
Blurry.
for it.
No, the soft focus is very flattering.
Several degrees.
Actually,
Meeting is adjourned.
We're adjourned.
thank you.